True North Reviews, True North Reviews, True North Reviews.
Hey there, welcome to True North Reviews. My name is Ryan, and today we are discussing the latest LP from Weezer, OK Human. Coming up on a year after the originally scheduled release of Van Weezer, instead OK Human is the group's 14th studio album, pushing back Van Weezer until May 2021, or at least that's the most recent update that we have from Rivers. However, that's not the most pressing detail to concern ourselves with today, as we still have some new music from Weezer, so let's talk about this new album. OK Human, a title that is clearly a nod to the Radiohead classic OK Computer. The title of the record doesn't bother me, neither does the album artwork, although it does seem like Weezer is starting to run out of colors to name their albums after. Regardless, the old saying stays true: don't judge a book by its cover, or in this case, the title. OK Human may also look like it is going on an intergalactic space journey in search of aliens, but I will assure you, the music is avoiding any futuristic sounds. If anything, it turns back the clocks, with Baroque pop being the central focus. And if anyone could pull off this direction, this sonic change, it would be Weezer. Not because of their nerdy sound in the past or their goofy lyrics, but the pathos and the melancholy that Rivers expresses is something that I've always been a fan of. Granted, OK Human might not bear any resemblance to Pinkerton, but we have to remember this is a band that is evolving 25 years after that. It's actually more surprising, though, to hear the lack or absence of Weezer's power pop guitars and riffage on this album. No electric guitars in sight, so that really does mount some pressure on the other instrumentation here. And that's really, for the most part, what I've enjoyed most about this record so far, is how it sticks to Baroque instrumentation. It has it cohesively weave throughout the entire album. There's seamless transitions, and Weezer, they don't deviate much from the core elements or ideas that they explore with. The first and only teaser that we got for this project was all my favorite songs, pretty low-key and tame as far as Jake Sinclair production goes, but you gotta appreciate the string and horn instrumentation. It's got a Beatles kind of vibe to it, but it's still building off what Weezer was working with on the Black album. I think of a song like High as a Kite for a comparison. In addition to the production, all my favorite songs is great lyrically. It's awesome to see Rivers metaphorically walk a tightrope of emotional paradoxes and contradictions that he makes with himself. This truly is an early contender for my favorite song of the year if I had to pick this early on. Now, going back to what I said about the commitment to Baroque instrumentation, and specifically the seamless transitions with those are on full display on the second track, Aloo, Gobi, which discusses the same old dull routines before the pandemic hit, and now we might have just taken them for granted. Notably, the strings carry over to this track, however, a lot more punch is added to them along with the keys. We just have that nice staccato dynamic to them. Moving along, as if the last track didn't have a sick name, Grapes of Wrath is completely badass, which, by the way, it is a shout out to the John Steinbeck novel, along with many other nods on this track to classic literature such as George Orwell's 1984. Grapes of Wrath, though, as a song, it is easily the closest thing that we get to pure rock on this album from the performance aspect, and it's just rocking that audible. How can you not rock that audible? Isn't that how most people read their books nowadays? It's just even funnier thinking of Rivers Cuomo, of all people, doing it. Time to get serious, though. The track Numbers is a fantastic song. It is also very emotional. Piano on here, as most tracks have that as the lead, along with gently strummed chords from a beautiful classical arrangement. Orchestral poignancy is how I would best define it. We have a strong melody as well on Numbers. It sounds sad both lyrically and sonically, tugging on the heartstrings with those minor chords. The cut is all about relying on people to help you accept your own flaws. It's this constant comparison to other people and how it eats away at your self-esteem, be it with height, IQ, or number of likes that you get on social media. Rivers takes these numbers and distills his message down to a simple equation. When two becomes one, that's when people really care and show that they support you. For someone who always likes to rationalize emotion, I can get behind this juxtaposition of emotion and logic on this song. And come on, that dramatic pause near the end of the song for suspense, only a band like Weezer could pull this off while referencing the Fibonacci sequence. Pretty nerdy, so I'll stop now. But please don't stop the music, or playing the piano for that matter, as that is the title on the album. For this track, coy songwriting is all over it. It might sound a little unfinished and grasping at straws in the opening verse, but it is very entertaining to see Rivers sing about playing his piano and belting out those falsettos. And don't worry, it's a track like this that builds upon itself and is complete by the end, whether it's provided by the steady pattern of drumming, the dramatic chill of the strings, or from that low drone of the bass. Skipping ahead to the cut screen, the groove and pulse are equally irresistible, supplying a little more bite and spot-on lyricism too about staring at screens, surely voicing some frustrations that we might all share in 2021 as the pandemic drags on. You might be under the same roof with your family, but someone's on their electronic device over here, someone's on their electronic device over there, and there's just no interaction between anyone in reality. So that's where I think Rivers states his case, and basically the thesis statement of OK Human. He wants more of that interaction with humans and not through technology. He wants to feel through his emotions as he does on the track Bird with a Broken Wing. Because yeah, Rivers is feeling irrelevant, maybe past his prime, although he is comfortable where he is right now. But still, it is great when we have that imagery of the bird. Might not be the prettiest, might not be the youngest, but Rivers, he knows he wants to sing a song. This idea is then filtered through the scope of nature as we have the rain that comes in to wash away the troubles on the track. Here Comes the Rain. I'd be lying if I said I didn't think the song was going to be cheesy or gimmicky, like it might just be Here Comes the Sun by the Beatles. Thankfully though, Rivers, he avoids that. The song is original. If anything, he diverts and writes a pop song that you think would be drowned in sorrow, like the lead single All My Favorite Songs, but is actually more cheerful and encouraging with its lyrical scope, with, yes, again, not being cheesy. Now, wrapping up this album, putting a reflective bow on things, La Brea Tar Pits is a moving and understated finale with the strings taking center stage. They act as a subtle counter melody, and they have some gorgeous harmonies. Either way, this closing track is a great way to round out everything. If there is one track that doesn't deserve to be on this record, maybe just a little filler to make sure Weezer gets over that 30-minute mark, as they typically do on every album, that would be Dead Roses. By far my least favorite song here, not that it's inherently a bad song, I just think that it gets lost in the shuffle with so many other good ones surrounding it. Still, easily the most underwhelming and forgettable for its melody and for the entire batch of tracks. But not much else I can complain about here. Obviously take this review with a grain of salt. I am a big Weezer fan, so you should know what you're going to get from me on this one. Staying as honest as I can though, I love the narrative on this album. The instrumentation and the production are a welcome change of pace. I did not expect much from Jake Sinclair after he's blown out a lot of the mixes on Fall Out Boy and Panic at the Disco songs lately. And yeah, the record itself is kind of poking fun or ironically inspired by OK Computer, but 20 plus years later as a follow-up, Weezer gives insight into life through a pandemic when the need for technology is only heightened. Some people might say too little too late, as we're almost a year deep into the pandemic and still waiting on Van Weezer, but I say OK Human is a great album to hold us over until then, and it might just be the most emo that Weezer has sounded since Pinkerton. With all that being said, if it wasn't obvious, I enjoyed this album thoroughly. I am feeling a strong 8 out of 10 on OK Human. There you have it. There is the album review for today. Make sure you guys sound off down below in the comments. Tell me what you guys think of this music, whether you agree or disagree. I'm here to engage with you guys. If you'd like to leave a like, subscribe if you're new in town, I'd appreciate that. As always, thanks for watching and have a rockin' day.